When you wake up Monday with a goalpost at the bottom of a pond, you know that it has been an epic weekend. And that was the case for Kansas as they take down Oklahoma, ending a 26-year drought. The win was so massive that it somewhat overshadowed the fact that Kansas is bowl eligible in back-to-back seasons for only the second time in school history. So yeah, to say things are good in Lawrence would certainly be putting it mildly, which is why that is where we are headed to welcome in our friend Michael Swain from fog.net. Michael, first top 10 victory at home since 1984. I could continue to just rattle off these stats all day, but that's why you're here. How much does this win mean to the Kansas football program?
It's huge. I think you look at what Lance Leipold has done rebuilding this program. They can now go toe-to-toe with teams like Oklahoma. You look in the trenches, and KU did not look out of place, and that is exactly the place where KU's been dominated in this game for so long. And to couple two things, where you get a huge win over such a highly ranked team like Oklahoma, breaking the long losing streak, while also getting bowl eligibility and having back-to-back bowl seasons for just the second time in program history. Lance Leipold's talked a lot about wanting to build a consistent winner at Kansas, and this win shows that KU can be much more than that. They can compete with the top guys in college football. May not win every time, but be in the game, and that's what you can ask for, and over time they will win some of those games. So you look ahead to the new Big 12, and what would this landscape look like? I think KU, if they continue to recruit at a high level, can be in a place where they can compete for championships, which is what Lance Leipold said the goal was when he took the job back in 2021.
Yeah, the arrow is certainly pointing up for that program, and I think that's all recruits really want to know, right? Whether they're sitting into or they're going into a situation that could ultimately help showcase them. One of those players that was there, big name tight end 2025 class, a 4-star Lincoln Cure. Where are the Jayhawks now with him after this visit this past weekend?
Yeah, they've made him a huge priority. You know, during the bye week, Lance Leipold took the jet out to Goodland, Kansas, which is a lot closer to Colorado than it is to Lawrence, to go check in on Lincoln and how things are going. The KU staff is going all out in their pursuit of him right now. They've got multiple coaches texting him, multiple coaches talking to him, and this was his first game day visit. He was in Lawrence back over the summer. He participated in a camp. They love what they saw from him, and they've really ramped up that the contact with him since August began. And this was his first time seeing KU, and he's someone that really enjoyed it. And so it's all about making a strong impression. And for someone that's a tight end, you look at the game that Mason Fairchild had, Trevor Cardell, a tight end for Kansas, was wide open all throughout the course of the game. I think KU showed someone like Lincoln Cure that if you pick Kansas, you'll be put in a position to have success and be able to play on a big stage like that.
Wow, his first visit. It's always like that there, right? Let's go to the in-state 4-star tackle, Andrew Babalola. He was also in attendance, and it's always important to keep talent home. So what's your read on his recruitment coming out of Saturday?
Yeah, this one's fascinating because if you look at his offer list, right, he's got opportunities from across the country. Miami was an early offer. Michigan has come in this fall and offered him. And this is another guy that the Kansas staff is putting a lot of capital into, right? Coaches are talking to him. They sent Andy Kotelnicki, the offensive coordinator, out to evaluate him and one of his teammates at a game earlier this year. KU is putting a lot of resources into these local recruits, and Babalola, unlike Lincoln Cure, has been on campus countless times. I think this was maybe his third game that he's been to this season, and so he's been able to see, I think, over the course of the year, the consistent increased fan support that you're seeing around the KU program, which is a huge deal to this coaching staff. So KU's putting in a lot of work early. We'll see how things progress. One thing to watch with Andrew is academics are huge with him. His parents are both in the medical field. Kansas, of course, KU Med is really a well-known institution in the medical field, so that could be something that helps Kansas in the long run.
Michael, top 24/7 edge Deshawn Warner from the state of Arizona is one of the top commits in that recruiting class right now. He chose the Jayhawks over places like Washington and Texas when he took official visits back in the summer. He surprised a lot of people by choosing Kansas. Now the likes of Michigan and Ohio State are also trying to flip him as we make that dash towards the signing period. What's the latest on the top-rated commit right now as the Kansas Jayhawks try to keep him in the 2024 class?
Yeah, KU's holding on, and this is a guy that I think if you're going to tab who this win is the biggest for, it's keeping Deshawn Warner in this class. He's got Michigan and Ohio State both coming in to try and flip him. And this is a guy that Kansas evaluated early. You go back to January, defensive backs coach Jordan Peterson was down in Arizona and fell in love with Deshawn Warner and two of the other teammates who are also committed to Kansas, and Andre Gibson and Jonathan Kamara. So you've got three guys from the same high school, all committed to play at Kansas right now, and Gibson and Warner are actually cousins. So there's some family relationships at play here too. So right now, KU's doing its best to continue to show Warner that if you go to Kansas, you can be put in a position to have a lot of success. You look at guys like Austin Booker, Jeremy Robinson, two of the most productive defensive ends in the Big 12. Hey, you come here, you can have production like that. You can also play on big stages. And look, with the new landscape of the college football playoff, if you win big games in the Big 12, there's a chance you can play in the playoffs. So KU's doing its best to continue to show him that the arrow is trending in the right direction. They've got those long-lasting, meaningful relationships with the player, and hopefully they'll be able to hold on throughout the end. That's their hope, at least.
That is certainly their hope. A lot of excitement in Lawrence right now, Michael. Thank you so much for being here to break it all down. You can check out more of his work at fog.net. I know my Jayhawk fans are looking forward to basketball season. There's great coverage of that too. But your football team is doing historic things right now, so check it out at fog.net.